In this video, I'm going to go over equation relations. Now, let's look at the linear equation y equals x plus 1, where the domain is -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. We're going to graph this and solve for the solution set. Let's use an xy table to help us graph this and find the solution set. We know our domain are our x values. So we're going to put -2 in for x, -1 in for x, 0, 1, and 2. Because our domain are all of our x values, so that's what we're plugging in. Now we're going to solve for our y values, which would be our range. The x values would be the independent variable because we're plugging these in to solve for our y, which is our dependent variable. So our y value will change based on the x. Therefore, the x is the independent and y is the dependent variable. So if we were to plug a -2 in for x, we would get -2 plus 1 was equal to y, so y would be -1. If we were to plug in a -1, we would get that y equals -1 plus 1. So y is equal to 0. If we were to plug in a 0 for x, we would get that y equaled 1. If we were to plug in a 1 for x, we would get that y equaled 2. And if we were to plug in a 2 for x, we would get that y equaled 3. Plotting these points would be -2, -1, -1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, and 2, 3. Normally, we would connect a linear equation with a line, but since the domain are just whole numbers from -2 to 2, we are not including any of the numbers in between the whole numbers. Therefore, we do not draw the line, and this is our graph solution. So our solution set would simply be the coordinates all together. So -2, -1 is our first coordinate, -1, 0 would be our second coordinate, 0, 1 would be our third coordinate, 1, 2 would be our fourth coordinate, and 2, 3 would be our fifth coordinate, and we would close that within our set. So this would be our solution set. Let's say, though, that I did not give you a domain. To solve for this, you would still graph it normally. You would pick random points. In this case, we'll just use what our domain used to be and plug in our x values. When we connect with a line, we see that our x values will continue to go to the left and continue to go on to the right for forever. So our domain for this would be all real numbers for the x. Our domain for the y, you can see that it continually goes up and continually goes down, so our range would have been all real. But since I gave you the domain to begin with, the range is restricted.